It's R&R in the morning, a Friday edition, a Coach Mike McCarthy edition. We want to welcome the head coach of your Dallas Cowboys on to R&R in the morning in San Antonio Sports Star. Good morning, Coach McCarthy. It's been a long time. Haven't seen you since Cali. How's your morning going?
It's going great, Robert. It's great to be back on with you guys, and I didn't think you guys were coming back from Oxnard.
We ran out of money, Coach. We had to come home.
Yeah.
It was either
that or up there. That's sure.
I tried to bring some of that weather with me, Coach, but they didn't let it through TSA.
Yeah, that's right. I hear you. That's a sweet spot, no doubt.
All right, Coach. Here we sit. It's time to do it again. You know, it's as you sum up, and I know this is a broad question to start an early Friday morning, but I hope you have a taco in your hand. As you sum up the preseason, the offseason, you know, if you 100% of your goals are very rarely met, where do you sit today as you get ready for game one?
I mean, you know, frankly, we're just we're completing our week. You know, you get Wednesday and Thursdays when you spend your time, put in all the scheme and making sure it's ready to go. And today's really focused on, review and clean up some things you want to hit one more time. And then, Saturday's kind of our dress rehearsal day. So it's with the extra week, you have more time. The guys have been totally into it. I mean, you could feel it, Wednesday, everything went to a different level. I mean, they've been putting in extra time. So we're in a good spot today.
Coach, why you still put yourself through this, man? You know what? Sometimes there's certain jobs. There's certain jobs you get people like me and Rob talking about you should have called a timeout. You get the guy on the couch scratching his belly, talking about I can't believe they didn't run the ball. Why do you still do this, man?
Oh, I mean, it's for the love of the game. I mean, you cannot, I don't think whatever your profession is to commit this much, time and energy to your occupation. I mean, you have to love it because I don't think you can be successful if you didn't. So just for the love of the game and just the opportunity that's put in front of us here, to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and the way this football team's built. I love our locker room. So it's just the opportunity to compete every Sunday, and now it's here. So it's exciting.
So through OTAs, training camp, everything, where do you feel like your team is at? Like through everything in this offseason, you're getting ready to face Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How do you feel about your team coming into Sunday night?
Well, every team you have is different. I mean, we use, the year before for comparables, and it's more, the accuracy comes in that, in your training regiments and things like that. But, this is a different team last year, and it's all about, the connection and the continuity. And I think we've done it's a pretty darn good job through training camp and preseason. And because you can see the team improving, week to week, and you can definitely see our young guys, how they improve from preseason game 1 to 3. So, I'm excited about the work that we put in, and, we're excited to get out there and compete for our first win. So I think we're in good space.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star, always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. And, Coach, all the typical questions, of course, we're going to get to. But as we come into the season, one of the things that has been reinforced over and over, and I don't think there's been a lot of buy-in on the outside of the bubble, is about running the football. You've talked about it. Jerry's talked about it. Steven's talked about it. We've heard about it consistently, that you guys are going to run the football. Last year, coming into the Tampa game, we were going to run the football as well, and we saw a first outing of like 40 passes. Let's talk about the idea of what you're, a running football team and what that leads to, and Dak's place in running the football.
Well, I got a couple questions there. I think number one, I mean, the ability to run the football when you have to run it is something that's, I think a little more accurate on what the goal is. So, there's different ways to run the football, and there's different ways that the defense is going to play it too. So, there is a schematic challenge that's part of this too. So, so our focus and our philosophy on the run game is definitely heightened. But our ability to move the football, win the time of possession, and ultimately, and most importantly, to score points is still at the forefront of our thinking.
Right.
So when we talk about Tom Brady a lot, Coach, everybody, he's 45, led the league in passing and touchdowns last season. But when all the fluff stuff, but when you watch him on film, you and Coach Quinn and the defense, what is it that gives you guys the most headaches? Is it how quick he gets the ball out? Is it the manipulation of the defense? What do you see on tape that's just kind of drives you crazy and kind of says, okay, how are we going to figure this out?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you got to throw his age out the window because, just the way he's moving and throwing the ball.
Right.
He's still playing at very high level. So, but I think that the thing that really stands out to me watching him is his decision making. He knows where he wants to go with the ball. His pre-snap anticipation is as high as ever, and and his ability to play fast through the reads, whether it's a 3-step game, 5-step, or ability to push the ball down the field, because he still really does an excellent job throwing the ball down the field, particularly to his left. So he's playing at an extremely high level. He's playing at an MVP type level. In the last 2 years is he's been very consistent.
You've had the privilege of being around a lot of great quarterbacks and seen guys grow into greatness. As you go into off season, you always want to have your players come back with something new in their bag. And certainly as Dak has stepped into the spotlight and has certainly been going to be the center point of everything that goes on this season, what has he added to the bag? And what is it that you need from Dak this year that maybe you hadn't seen before, if there's anything?
Well, I know we just need Dak to, line up and lead and keep performing. He's done such a great job in the preparation part of it, and he's gone beyond to keep improving, in his specific individual skills and conditioning and just the things he does extra for his body. So yeah, we just need Dak to line up and play and play at a high level, which I think he's done a great job preparing himself for.
Now, who's going to pick out his shoes from here on out?
For real?
Wow. Well, hey, it's all part of it,
Have you ever lost a player in practice because his shoes were too tight?
Well, it's not. I'm sure you guys are, manipulating or having fun or whatever the word. I'm trying to say what I, agreeing with you. That's for sure. But yeah, things happen.
Yeah, they happen, don't they, Coach?
Yeah, I'm sure you know Michael Jordan. You know Michael Jordan. You can call him up. I hate to ask you, Coach. I know you've been asked 1,000 times, but let's talk about Tyler Smith and kind of being thrown into the fire. That's one of the toughest jobs in the NFL, if not the toughest, the left tackle position. Talk about where you feel like Tyler Smith is, and you guys plan on giving him a little bit of help, and how's he come along to playing left tackle to start this season?
I think he's progressing very well. I think he's, it's slowing down for him, and I think the big thing is he just has to get out there Sunday night and and stay in an emotional balance and compete, because he's got excellent physical skill, and he needs to play, he needs to practice, he needs to play, and this is all part of his process, and I think he'll do well.
Well, yeah, we talked with him in Oxnard. The thing about it is he is one of those gym rats, film rats. He's really, when the 10, 15 minutes I spent with him, he takes the job seriously and looks like he's going to catch on just fine.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a talented young man. Love the way he's built. He's his personality, he just comes in here and works. So he's an excellent fit for us.
Coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. He'll be part of the weekly. We'll have him every week during the season, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Coach, when we watching the game last night, and I'm sure you took a lot of time out, got some popcorn and watched the game. But at halftime, Coach Dungy brought up something that I think is really important to think of in the first week or two of the season is, you're balancing the offseason and preseason with having your players ready for game one, healthy and ready to go. But we did see a little bit of both teams being a little gassed there in the second quarter as, you get getting through that first quarter of adrenaline. What's your expectation for game one? And that's part of the strategy of this. How do you get guys fully functioning and ready to play a full football game without practicing too much and playing too much in the preseason?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an excellent point, and I think most importantly, it's how you get to, the championship conditioning level that you're looking to achieve. Clearly, I agree with the, with the opinion, but that's really, part of being a head coach. Our training regimen is critical at this time of year because, it has to come together to make sure we're ready for, a 20-game season is the way we build our program. So, that's why we have a GPS meeting every day at 4:30. So we go through everybody's numbers and just look at all the the information that we have. So that's all part of your training plan.
GPS, you mean as far as like how many steps guys have taken, how much energy they've exerted, that type of thing, Coach?
Your GPS and my GPS, we count our steps, okay?
Yes.
no, those
So
guys,
what are they counting?
Yeah.
My bad.
We're counting how many times they run over 21 mile an hour, run below 17 mile an hour. So I mean, but same principle.
Got you. What do you
21 miles an hour?
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Oh, yeah.
A guy like Diggs. There's certain people.
I don't even fall that fast.
No, those certain guys that could do that. But what do you plan on doing with that Maserati that is Micah Parsons, Coach? Are we going to see him all over? Well, I know you don't get in the scheme, but you could just tell us. It's just us here.
Yeah.
You're going to use that Maserati all over the field this year?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We're all excited to play and compete, no doubt about it. But throughout, and I think it's really just expresses what we think of Micah internally. But man, I'll tell you, the last 3 weeks he has cranked it up. I mean, he's had some practices here, and he had one yesterday where he's just been unbelievably disruptive. And so I'll just say this: he's ready to go. He has really turned it up here the last couple of weeks.
Hey, Coach, how close is Gallup to playing? I know today will be key. What are your thoughts there?
We'll see. I mean, you got to trust the rehab process. But he's doing well. No, he practiced a little more Wednesday and Thursday than we initially planned. So I think that just speaks to his progress that he's making. But we don't have a date. We're not saying, hey, he's going to be ready for this week. We're just trusting Britt Brown and Michael and it's just going to complete this rehab process.
Coach, do you feel like you're a Dallasite now, a Texan? It's been several years. You feeling at home?
Yeah, definitely. No, family really likes it here. I mean, the people here are phenomenal. I do. I love where Allen. We live out in Allen, Texas. So, yeah, and coaches. We come in early and leave late. So, I mean, that part's been great. I love the people I work with, and obviously, working for the Jones family is awesome. So, yeah, we're very, very comfortable here.
You enjoy the tacos this morning?
I haven't had them yet. You keep asking me questions. I can't get.
Well, Coach, I'm curious because I got to be honest. You looked fantastic.
You look good, Coach.
At Oxnard, man. You look like you're in great shape. I almost felt guilty about sending the tacos up to you, but
Can we change it to carrots and hummus or something?
No, Coach. No, not at all. We
You're
wouldn't
not
do that to you or anybody else.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thanks for the help.
At least we can do. Hey, Coach, we're looking forward to a great season. We certainly appreciate you taking the time. Stay safe. Have a great week, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Take care.